Welcome back. Mauricio Pochettino has been confirmed as the new USA men's national team head coach. It is his first job since leaving Chelsea in the summer. So let's get more on this with Roger Bennett, who created the Men in Blazers podcast and follows US soccer in the States. Roger, good to speak to you. First of all, can you just explain why this has taken so long to announce officially?
Because good things are worth waiting for, David. I think there's been some complication, 26 days in between the rumour becoming confirmed and then the official announcement. Extricating Poch from his Chelsea contract was a complex reality, and as is everything with Chelsea Football Club. But we did it, and for the first time in American history, and I mean that going all the way back to Abraham Lincoln, we've hired on the men's side a coach who's truly the most single accomplished, globally respected club coach that US soccer have ever had. Almost like an Argentinian version of Kyle Chandler from Friday Night Lights. That's what it feels like with his arrival. What Poch brings, we need a man motivator, developer of youth, can turn the team into a collective. He's hopefully going to bring a big bag of lemons.
I just wonder, think about the big names, right? And of course, Jurgen Klinsmann, the one that's really jumps off the page in terms of the US men's national team. But how much of a statement appointment is this with that World Cup in mind in a couple of years' time?
It's a statement to ourselves, about ourselves, where we are on the women's side. There's a coaching deficit over in the United States, both the men's and women's game, and US soccer went out and brought in Emma Hayes, the pride of North London, the best coach in the world. And in 72 days, she took the team from first training to gold at the Olympics. And to do the same now on the men's side, I mean, the same, but the jump is the same. To take a club who's international as opposed to the club football that both were used to that's quite a gamble. Very, very different creatures. And whether Poch can take his ideas, of forging the collective, of the fitness regime, which 3-a-day trainings, the press, whether we can train these young. And at this point, US soccer, it's quite a low point on the men's side. Whether we can inculcate those ideas in the very short burst that an international manager has remains to be seen.
I wonder, Roger, what's the reaction been where you are to the appointment of Mauricio Pochettino? Has it been seen as mega news?
Yeah, well, you got to remember, the announcement was made right into the teeth of a presidential debate, which was then followed by Taylor Swift anointing one of the candidates, and it came after the first weekend of the NFL's return. So I'm only saying that so that you in Britain have a sense of the context. Like, there's a lot of noise that it had to break through. But within the football community, there's a sense of, it's almost delirious. I'm going to spend some time with Pochettino tomorrow to see that bloke who I first met in Tottenham and then Chelsea with a US crest on his chest. I'm going to be honest, it's going to be very surreal. But the need is massive. This is a team with a lot of skill on paper. It's never translated through onto the field. They're young still. Christian Pulisic, Weston McKennie, Tyler Adams, Gio Reyna, Anthony Robinson. And the question is, we know where we are. We know we're not an Argentina or a France, a superpower, but the World Cup is going to be hosted on the United States turf in 2026. And the question is, why can't we be like a Morocco 2022 or what Turkey or Switzerland were in Euro 2024? And the challenge now is at Poch's door, and I can't wait to watch him try and untangle it.
Well, here we are on the 11th of September 2024, and in June the 11th of 2026, so exactly 21 months away, is when that opening game kicks off at the US World Cup. I wonder what is genuinely the expectation for Mauricio Pochettino. What would qualify as success for that tournament?
Yeah, I'm not counting the days until the World Cup kicks off, but I can tell you, David, it's 638. So he doesn't have a lot of time. I think the good news for Poch is that this is almost a no-lose situation. He's picking up a team at its low point. They were just the Copa America, which they hosted. They failed to emerge from the group stage. So it really is a collective where, Christian Pulisic, we drew with New Zealand last night, was left bemoaning, said there's a lot of things that need to change, the mentality, the culture of the group. We have the quality. So essentially, he's got a free hit here. And the United States, for all of our prowess, we don't talk enough about the 1930 World Cup where we got into the semi-finals. We don't sing that story enough. But bar that, beating England in 1950 is kind of like as good as it gets. There was a handful of round of 16s. We won one of them ever. We're a deeply underachieving big tournament nation. And these players, when you speak to them, Belgium, 2014, the Tim Howard game where he made, I think, 87 saves. It gets more with every single telling. Noble failure really is our lot. So getting us into the knockout round and please God, winning a game would be deeply transformative, proving ourselves to ourselves that we belong, that we can make noise at an international level. By the way, if Poch can do this, he'll never have to buy a beer in not this town again, but this entire nation.
I'm sure, Roger, you'll be the first there in the bar to offer him one. And we're going to have to call it a day there, I'm afraid, Roger, but thank you so much for speaking to us.